Alright, so today was supposed to be Tara's vlog about SakuraCon, and she told me that she was doing her best to edit it as soon as possible. But then a certain topic came up, and I'm like, girl, if you still need time to work on your video, and she's like, go ahead. And this isn't me trying to, you know, get into the hype or jump on any bandwagon. This is a serious case. Just like when I was addressing the Logan Paul issue, like there's some drama issues I'm just like, you know, that's no big deal. But for someone who comes off as like a friendly person with a friendly environment and like making all these remarkable videos that we all looked up to have such a controversy like this attached to Channel Awesome, and for them to respond like this. So, a lot of people were like saying in the last video we were ranting a lot, and let's just do a little TLDR of what happened, okay? Just so everyone can catch up. So, on April 2nd, Lupa, Linkara, Lindsay Ellis, Mars Girl, all these former producers, 20 of them, formed a document detailing all of the things that went down at Channel Awesome while they were still there, and how it was like very controversial. There was a lot of misogyny, harassment, mismanagement, bullying, just you name it, it was there, and just how the heads treated the situation. And so like they all just banded together, compiled everything that went down at Channel Awesome, released the document, and then a couple of days later we saw that response from Channel Awesome saying, well, we sorry you felt that way. And we're just like, well, that was a non-apology. You know, for a serious accusation like this to occur, where your reputation is on the spotlight, you are being accused of harassment, mismanagement, bullying, sexual misconduct, ill behavior towards your female staff, you need to take this seriously. And for them to have such an arrogant response, saying that like, you know, we're sorry you felt that way, we never intended to be this way, we're gonna go forward, just making the production bigger and better and brighter for everybody, and it's like, that's not really addressing the situation.
I guess I didn't make as many mistakes as I thought. Well, thank you for joining me, until next time. Did you hear something? I totally didn't hear anything.
Don't try to avoid me.
I'm not avoiding you. Thing that I don't hear.
So the links to those, as well as this second response, will be in the description box down below. Yes, there was a second response, and woo, howdy! Ooh. Wow. This has like Twitter just on a blaze. Like, what? Like, this is just Doug and Rob avoiding the situation as best they can. I don't think that had anything to do with this apology. And Mike is mentioned as the third person in this apology. Not really apology, but I swear this is just Mike typing it all up while trying to make it sound like, oh no, this isn't Mike typing it, no. Basically the whole thing was like, they took the major accusations, because they're like, oh, we're not going to address everything in that document, and it's like, well, you kind of maybe should. But they pretty much took the major accusations, and it's pretty much like, we're sorry you felt this way, but let me tell you how we're right and you're wrong, and you should feel real bad about doing this. As someone who worked in guest relations most of her life, I've worked in theme parks ever since I was 17. So, from my perspective, where I have to bend over backwards to make other people happy, whether I like it or not, because there are sometimes they're wrong, but it doesn't matter. It's my job, and the whole thing of the customer is always right, yes. There are some times where it's like they ask for too much and we're like, okay, no, this is actually against policy, but we try to bend over backwards to try to fix any situation, regardless of how absurd it is. And we have to be polite and smile, try to be empathetic, you know, okay, yes, so I'm sorry to hear that, and that's just like basic 101 on how to treat these kinds of situations. But this whole thing is, here's the accusation, now here's the facts. And it's like, really? This is rubbing this whole situation totally in the wrong way. Because this whole thing is just so arrogant. Accusation, facts, and they would have like a screenshot. And the most devious one that even Lupa addressed in her response on Twitter was like, accusation, Alison Pregler states not a single person wasn't miserable. In this video, you'll find that Alison says that it was a great production to be a part of, it was a lot of fun to be a part of this, and Suburban Nights. To which I actually screenshot her response, and she said, look, in a post-TBF documentary meant to be on the DVD we never bothered giving her, Alison said it was great to be a part of this production. Take that, dweebos, post to Vimeo. Channel Awesome CEO. Like, it sounds like they were asking a lot of the team members to talk about how great of an experience they had on the production to put on the DVD, but they never put it on the DVD. And now it just feels like now they have all of this proof saying, look, we are awesome guys. See, they said it themselves years ago. I don't know where they're getting this mentality from. It's like, you asked us to do it. You asked us to record something about the production and put it on the DVD, but now it just feels like you're using this as blackmail. They're trying to keep face. They're trying to keep this production as good as you want it to because they want to keep their jobs. Like, it feels like from their point of view that if they didn't do something that you wanted them to do, they would be buried underneath all these posts that you would do. Like Doug and Rob were always #1, and those who were the most loyal to the group were like, you know, somewhere down below. This is back at thatguywiththeglasses.com. Where like Channel Awesome now is like, you know, every new post, it just, you know, makes it up to the top and whatnot. So it's better. I'm not saying that like, you know, Channel Awesome hasn't done things to improve themselves. But for them to ignore all this and be all like, you know, I don't know why you're making such a big fuss about it. Look at us now. And it's like, but you're not really being empathetic and, you know, understanding of the situation. Is just like, well, that was then and this is now. And it's like, yeah, and? There was even like them saying that like, oh, this person said that the Nostalgia Critic is owned by Mike Mashad. And it's like, not true. The Nostalgia Critic brand is owned by the entire Channel Awesome Corporation under the 4 shareholders, which there will be a 5th one later on. I think it said there'll be a 5th one later on, but let me double check. The IP is owned by Channel Awesome Incorporated. The partnership is owned by 4 individuals with the 5th person joining ownership by the end of the year. And? So it's like, because these 5 people own Nostalgia Critic, Doug still can't do a damn thing about it. Like, he just has to be the good little boy and do what he's told and just ignore all of this. This doesn't make you or Rob look any good, Doug. Jesus. Lindsay Ellis alleges Doug Walker and Channel Awesome ignored concerns regarding the transformation scene. As the screenshot below shows, Lindsay was repeatedly asked for her opinion and approval of the scene before it was finalized. Lindsay even helped Doug make the scene sound better. Which, like, yeah, but this was like after she brought it up to your attention that it seemed inappropriate, and from her point of view it sounded like you were so gung-ho that you really wanted the scene. So of course she wants to keep her place on Channel Awesome and do what she can to help make the scene as bearable for her as possible, but it still felt very demeaning to her, and you just ignored her feelings and were like, oh, we really need to keep this in. And it's like, all right, fine, but can we do it this way? I'm sorry, but like, these responses don't even bring in the fact that like these people just wanted to keep their places at Channel Awesome. And that's like saying that like, you know, like, oh, they should have known to like get out of it as soon as possible, but you can't think for them. And like, at that point they're probably thinking, let's just get this over and done with, it'll just get better in the future, maybe none of this will ever happen again, only for it to like ultimately backfire and get worse for them. So I don't really blame these 20 people for coming out. And it's one thing to say that like, you know, that the movies were voluntary, that these people knew that they weren't going to get paid, but they were going to have their flights covered and their meals covered, and that's one thing. But to make someone sign a contract so that they wouldn't sue you for the amount of injuries they sustained while working on your video. It's like, oh, you're the one that got hurt, we're not responsible, just sign a little contract here saying you're not going to sue us. And it's like everyone was given a letter and asked if they want to participate with no disregard to like if they didn't want to do it. It's like, that's okay, no big deal. But it's like, no, it actually felt menacing because of the amount, the atmosphere and the treatment that they received. It's like they honestly did feel that like if they didn't do it, then they would get in trouble for it. And there was like one person, there was like, I think there was like a handful of people, but I know one of them came out, the Distressed Watcher, also known as the Amazing Atheist, which I just learned that like the Amazing Atheist was on Channel Awesome. Keyword was, or that guy with the glasses. He really wanted to be like Doug. He admired Doug and wanted to do videos just like Doug, only for, you know, for them to barely speak to each other, and even though he was a content creator for the channel, and to be let go, to which he didn't really feel that bad for it. But it's like how this whole entire happy family was all like, oh, we're gonna include everybody who's on the channel, and he didn't get an invitation. It really felt clear to him that he wasn't wanted, and yet he was like still attached to the network. They don't even address that. Even Linkara's come out like, I don't have much to say. Everyone else is already showing how this is full of it, how they're either off the mark, lacking an apology, or just in general wrong. But there are a few things I can bring up. For starters, Lindsay wasn't the only one upset by that scene to boldly flee. Yeah, all they're saying is like Lindsay accused us of putting her in an uncomfortable situation, when it's like, what about Linkara? Linkara was in that uncomfortable situation too. Both Lindsay and Linkara are very uncomfortable with using rape in certain scenes given the context. They felt that wasn't necessary for the transformation scene to boldly flee. And yet this apology, non-apology, only brings up Lindsay. It feels like they're actually bringing up a lot of the female stuff, like they're trying to intimidate the females, and Linkara's like, you know, you offended me too. Why wasn't I mentioned in this thing? In fact, I saw it first and told Lindsay about it and told Doug about it and said how bad it was. Notice that my name wasn't included in that response. Weird, isn't it? I can also point out that the chat log doesn't address their point, that they listened to the feedback on it. Oh sure, they did listen to it eventually. We don't deny that, but that's not that chat log was about. This whole thing just backfired on them. So I'm not gonna make another video about this ever again, I promise you, okay? Even if there's like a third response that is like the cataclysm of all responses, I'll leave it to Twitter and Facebook and the YouTube community. I'll leave it at that. Just know how these 20 producers feel. Don't look at them as being petty or like selfish. Just look at these people and they're like, look, this is what we went through. And even though like they're saying it's better now, they're only saying that now because like of like this accusation is coming up, say, oh, but look at us now, like our actresses are not having this kind of experience now. And I'm like, so you're admitting that you mistreated your actresses before? And they're like, oh, we're gonna put our male co-workers through sensitivity training. And I'm like, okay, how does that help? I don't know, but I said my 2 cents about this situation. I am gravely disappointed. I wanted a response that addressed the situation. This was the response to the situation, which was basically, we're sorry you felt this way. Now here's why you guys are wrong and should feel ashamed for this accusation, and why we're right. It's super arrogant, non-empathetic, and they should really be ashamed of themselves. And I'm done. I'm unsubscribed, I'm not following them anymore, I'm not going to reference them ever again in my videos, I'm done with them. Like, even if you go to Lindsay's page, all she can just do is just, this whole thing pretty much like traumatized her. Just how they're responding is just, really? If multiple women accuse your company of an atmosphere of sexism, they're probably lying bitches, so it's a good idea to get their female peers to refute them on public forum, because one person's experience totally negates multiple others. You know, in general. Louder for those in the back. This is why so many people have left them. In the past 10 days, they have lost 30,000 subscribers, and it keeps going down. I'm not sure, like with the Logan Paul incidents and the Fine brothers, I'm not convinced that this will stop them. Like, their older audience, the audience that loved them for the past 10 years, and worshiped them and looked up to them as heroes like me, they're gonna be sadly disappointed and they're gonna leave them. But the new generation, they're not gonna know anything about this, and they're not gonna care. All they're seeing is some guy, a loud guy with glasses, ranting on crappy movies. And at least, like, we're trying to point out that, like, you know, this isn't a response. This is not how you address a serious topic. It's just very disappointing. So that pretty much wraps up my rant. Again, if you want to read the documents, just look at the links down below. And that include their response, the first apology, and the document that had all 20 people going on about you know, how they felt throughout, you know, their time being there. And again, this is my last time addressing the topic, I swear. I'll leave it to Twitter and Facebook and YouTube community if anything else occurs. But for now, I'm unsubscribed, I'm done with them, I'm not gonna deal with them anymore. I'm sad, I love these guys for the past 10 years. It's heartbreaking, but that's life, I guess. So in the meantime, next week, Tara will release her video on SakuraCon. I'm going to try to have a live stream on my birthday, either on the 15th in America or the 16th in America. It all depends on my work schedule because the holidays are coming up at my job and it requires a lot of hours, and it's just, I hate the holidays, but mostly because it cuts into my YouTube editing hours. So I will do my best to release my videos on time. Just understand that this is a very busy time at my job. Like any other time of the month, if it's not a holiday month, I got all the time to like do whatever I want for my videos. But when it's holidays, it's like, especially January. January is, it's a nightmare. But this Saturday, I will be releasing my top 30, yes 30 because I'm turning 30, top 30 favorite anime of all time. So that will be a Saturday video, and I'll also be playing with my birthday present. For the past 10 years, I have been, where is it? I have been using this microphone. The only time I ever had to use a different microphone was when I was in Australia for the first time back in 2012. And I accidentally left my microphone at home, so I had to use my boyfriend's, now my husband's, microphone. But I had to use this one for the past 10 years. So I said, you know what, for my birthday, and it's about time, I'm upgrading. I got me one of these bad boys for my birthday. So, can't wait to use it. For what am I watching? I know I wanted to do Attack on Titan in junior high, but that'll be for the May. What am I watching? For the April one, since it's my birthday month, I wanted to tackle a series that I liked, but even I'm like, what am I watching? And that's Pre-Tier. And the anime review for this month, the next Patreon review will be in May. For my birthday month, I'm going to review Cowboy Bebop. So be sure to stick around for that. More awesome videos will be on the way, so stay tuned, Anime America. Just remember, Doug, Rob, Mike, and whoever that fourth shareholder is, hashtag change the channel. We're gonna remember it because you don't want to.